Wednesday afternoon. I just got back from Anderson and Med with Mom. I wanted to give everybody an update. There's been so much in just the last 24 hours that has happened. For folks that don't know, Mom was readmitted to the hospital last night. She got into her room at around midnight. We were down there from about 1 o'clock yesterday. Got her into the ER at about 4 o'clock yesterday, and got her into a room at AnMed at about midnight last night. All of her issues is from what happened with the colonoscopy where she bled out, and so that's what's going on. They started iron infusion this afternoon. When I left the hospital just a little while ago, they had started an iron infusion, and they're going to give a bag of blood coming up tonight. So hopefully that's going to take care of Mom. Hopefully that she'll get back, be feeling better, and we'll be back over here so her and take care of Jack and them and the dogs. So I'm back home right now. Again, if you've been following me for the last several weeks on the pot stir, I told you all what was going on and what was happening, and kind of realized that I knew that once Lakeisha, Dana, Denise Rosman, and W.C. Honeycutt, I realized once they voted no for this budget and stuff, I knew what was going to happen. And it did. Of course, this morning, the local friendly paper decided to write a whole bunch of stuff in there that, well, they were trying to discredit the four. If you don't believe what I say, go to Lakeisha Benson's page. It's actually on my page. If you want to go there, you can read it. Lakeisha tells it. She tells the exact truth about this whole thing. Um, the money wise, the budgeting, but I keep getting a lot of folks sending me messages. Well, who is responsible? And let me just tell you who I think is responsible for this mess. The way the city of Seneca is set up is that the mayor is in control. Mayor is responsible for all budgets. That's his job. He can delegate it to whoever he wants, but according to the way that the charter and everything is written, the mayor is responsible for bringing the budget to the city council. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now, again, you have other people that put things together. They give it to Scott. Scott presents it to the council. But in the perfect world, the budget is the person responsible for the city's budget is the mayor. He's responsible to bringing it to the city council. Then the city council votes on it. So if you're trying to put blame on anybody with the reason Seneca is in the shape it's in, you're probably going to have to go back to the previous mayor. And I hate to say it, but things are pointing that way that they knew, administration at least knew that all of this money and all this issue for the power was coming. They knew that there was going to be an increase. There should have been a minimum somewhere I've seen 4 to 5 increases in the last 5 years, but we only got two. And we were shocked come January that we got the first 4.5. So power's going up regardless. So the issue is it right for folks that are not on Seneca Light and Water? Let's say, for example, you don't have power with Seneca Light and Water. Is it fair for you all to have your water bill go up to cover the power? And I'm going to tell you, I don't think it is. I think that uh, why should, if you live outside the city and you're going to get dinged with a $15 flat fee, why should you have to go back and pay for help the light or help the light? Again, Lakeisha, Dana Moore, Denise Rosman, and W.C. Honeycutt all voted no. Whether we like it or we don't like it, we're going to get an increase. It's just how the increase is going to be applied. For example, I'll take my mother, for example, who is on Seneca Light and Water, who has water. Her normal bill runs about $15, $16. Okay. She is retired, lives by herself. Um, she's going to stand to pay an additional 15 on top of that. So that's going to put it over 30 something dollars. That's the problem I have with this whole thing. Why are we dinging water customers to help pay for the other? Now, the sewer is going to go up regardless because the Joint Regional Sewer Water Authority already improved an increase. So that's going to go up, period. The whole thing is a sham. Again, the city knew that the power was going to increase, but really honestly failed to do anything about it. So can you point the finger at Ronnie O'Kelly? Well, not necessarily. You can't point it at him. Again, I hate to say this, but if the truth be told, this is Dan. Dan Alexander was the mayor during all of this time. And again, it seemed like it just got kicked down. I don't know if it was because they were scared of elections, didn't want to do anything. I don't know. I don't have the answer or the reasons why it was done the way it was done. So we're having to play catch up, but we're having to play catch up at the expense of the city taxpayers. And again, just take a look at the people that pay property taxes. We know that that's going up 2.3 mils. So you're already increasing property taxes. Okay, Seneca Light and Water should be run as a separate entity, which it is. It's supposed to be. But here's where the kicker comes in. How many times have you had to take money out of Light and Water and put over into the general fund? They knew it. They were going up. They completely knew everything. They knew that they were going up in this, but they failed to do so. But you're taking money, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And that's exactly as Lakeisha in her post on her Facebook page said, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. We figured out that it was roughly a little over $5 million. Again, it doesn't take a brilliant. I did graduate from Seneca, and I have looked at the numbers. I've even looked at them and asked the questions. I got some great answers from certain council members. That's including Lakeisha. I've got the information from Dana. I've looked at all of it across the board. It's just how much money that we're going to continually rob Peter to pay Paul. And there's one other thing too I want to mention in what Lakeisha posted. And if you know, you know. And I don't have to harp on this. It is a known fact by many people within the city of Seneca, and I don't have to point the fingers, that the city appears to be controlled by another entity and has been for several years. Anytime anything needed to be decided, it was told to call that certain individual to get his opinion. I don't understand why that certain individual called every one of the council members, and they know I know, and told them that they had to vote for this $15 flat increase for water. And if you don't know who that is, it's the same person, or well, let's just say it's the same entity that he either used to own or sold off to his employees, or he doesn't even live in Oconee County. He doesn't live in Seneca, but he's controlled the city for many, many years. And I'm doing a tell-all right now. Why does he affect the budgeting? Why does he have to pick up the phone and call every council member and every mayor, the mayor? And again, he was seen carrying and driving around the other mayor. This same individual did all he could to try to get the current administrator fired at the county. All this is record. All you've got to do is go back and do your homework and do your research, because the county was trying to force our current, the county was trying, he was trying to force the county to fire their former administrator, and within 24 hours, we hired that administrator. That happened. That's facts. And we can prove all of this. Everything I tell you is provable. It's all a matter of history. And you've got to know the history. And then again, people are talking about the exorbitant amount of salaries. Well, guess what? I'm just being honest with you. Yes. Seneca, the size of it, whatever our population is, mid 80s, let's say 8,500. You got 301 something $1,000. Again, you've got two other administrators in there for the 200. You got all of those in there. So yeah, you're over 700 something $1,000 in administration salaries. But yet you are cutting 20 positions. You've got firefighters that are not getting paid nothing. You've got police officers that are not getting paid a fair wage. You've got city employees now that are struggling. You've got the morale is an all-time low, and nobody seems to want to ask and direct and fix that issue. It's sad. Now, did we have any of this going on 8 years ago before the certain administrator that we have now came? The answer was no, we did not. Under Greg Dietrich's leadership, no matter how they want to spin it, we had a surplus, we had a reserve, we had good harmony amongst all the employees. People were happy. And generally now, people within the city feel beaten, abandoned, abused to the point that they don't know where to turn to. These people have reached out to me. These people have talked to me. I know what's going on in my hometown. I've been knowing what's going on for 8 years, and the common denominator is the former county administrator that was hired down here. You know exactly who I'm talking about. But you also have the one individual that formerly owned a newspaper. This is the same individual that tried everything to in his world to say that I was coming to kill his family. Got SLED involved. They put a GPS tracker on me. And, you know, after all of that was said and done, SLED said no. And he didn't like it because he had spent $60,000 to have me tailed with a GPS tracker. That's facts. That happened. But I didn't give up. He tried his best, and here I am. I'm just telling you the truth. Do I have any stake in all of this? No, but I do have a stake in my how much I'm willing to pay as a citizen and as a city resident. You know, I get it. Things are going up. And I understand that, yes, we may have to pay a little bit more, but why do I have to pay a little bit more for certain people's stupidity? Why should I be the one held responsible to pay for a gross misappropriation of all sorts of monies? I know what I'm talking about there. I'm well aware of certain people being fired in the city and what happened, but yet they were told it was okay. In reality, it wasn't okay, but yet they lost their job because of it. I know what I'm talking about. But we have the common denominator, the one person that still picks up the phone and tells the need if they don't vote a certain way on something that he's going to blast them in the newspaper. And what happened this morning was a total hit piece. You want to talk about hit pieces? That was instead of talking about the issues, it was just like they're trying to raise up 40%. No, they're not. No, they're trying to get the best deal possible to save it. And again, your four council people that held the ground in all of this was Lakeisha Benson, Dana Moore, W.C. Honeycutt, and Denise Rosman. I want you to remember that because June 30th is the big vote. And if you ever remotely care about Seneca, it would be in your best interest to show up and at least tell them how you feel. Because if you don't, This is just the first of many increases that's coming. There's going to be more increases because we're having to pay, instead of doing what should have been done, we're having to pay for the sins and of previous administrators and other things. Now, I also want to make mention, if you read Lakeisha, she tells it all. Lakeisha, in her public post on Facebook, verifies everything I said about a third party. I'm just giving you the heads up of who that third party is. So when it comes right down to it, we've been told, and as a matter of record, that there was another budget that was presented. So from the time that the other budget, select council members saw a different budget than the one that was presented about 3 weeks ago, a total different budget. So your budget person and your finance, Danielle, and well, Josh Ritchie's, he's your second in command. They had to come up and put together a whole complete different budget because of that one person. The one person. They had to come up and put a whole complete budget together because of that one person, because they were told to by that one person. So again, I can't hold them responsible. I think they tried to do their job, but probably couldn't. So again, you're not hearing too much of me about complaining about Josh and Danielle, because I think they're a victim in all this. But I will tell you this: I've known Dana Moore a long, long time, and Dana Moore and I, occasionally we've been on opposite sides about certain things. But I'll tell you what, Dana Moore's never lied, and I'll tell you another thing: Lakeisha, she's never lied. Keisha does have the best interest. Dana right now has the best interest. Denise Rosman has the best interest, and Pastor Honeycutt does too. There's you four right now. I can't speak for the other ones. I'm really shocked and concerned. Enough is enough. We have done the same identical thing for the last 8 years. 5 years ago, I called it. 5 years ago, Lakeisha, you know for a fact that I told you the city was broke 5 years ago. I already saw it. We were spending way too much money. And then you take a look at all the transfers between Seneca Light and Water to prop the general fund up. Travis, you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. Yes, you're correct. But the sad thing of it is, this whole issue about budgets and stuff is going on all across the county. Walhalla just recently had to do the same thing. They're having to cut their budget and tighten up. But again, we know that we were going into this. You knew years ago that the power is going up, but you did nothing about it, and now the residents of Seneca is having to pay for it. And I know the words, and I do plan to figure out when the budget is, if whatever's finalized, they've got to have one in place by July 1. And unfortunately, I'm afraid that what we've got right now is coming. But then there's the issue: is it legal? Well, we're kind of going through that right now with a certain other entity that has sued Oconee County over Sewer South. So is somebody from the outside of the city limits that just has water, if they pay this flat $15, is it going to be right to pay the power and they don't get anything in return? We got that going on right now. That's happening. That's happening right now. Amanda checks in and says, telling me that Oconee County has a mob boss. I don't know, but I ain't saying it, but you know, it's been that way for years, and you know who I'm talking about. Again, I just wanted to come on to let you know what's going on. I wished I had a little bit more time to develop into the show, but with everything going on this week, particularly with now having to travel back and forth with my mom, but I wanted y'all to be up to date and know what was going on. I don't just share things just for stirring the pot, even though that's what I've been accused of. I stir it because you need to know. If you want to depend on the other entities to get you the information, you're not going to get it. This is honest to God problems that's happening in my hometown, your hometown, and enough is enough. And like I said, when I came on, and again, Lakeisha, you need to read her post. It's available on my page right now. She tells it like it is. I know that Dana is going to have some comments coming soon, and we'll share those. If Denise and WC Honeycutt want to chime in, I'll give them the voice, because at the end of the day, we the citizens pay the taxes. The city council and the mayor, they're responsible. They're to us. They're the ones that should be working for us, not somebody else telling them what to do. A third party person that doesn't pay taxes in Oconee County, far as a citizen, doesn't live in Seneca, but yet picks up the phone and every time they wanting them to vote a certain way. And it's been going on for a long, long time. I think people are just afraid of him. I'm not afraid of him anymore. I'm 50 years old. I've probably, if I'm lucky, got 15, 20 more good years on it. And I'm not going to worry about him. I'm just going to tell it like it is and let the chips fall where they may. But the truth of the matter is, citizens, it is time for you to stand up. And you need to let them know how you really feel. Because if you don't, you're going to be paying more and more. And this is just the first wave. I'm mighty afraid that there's going to be another increase. Again, you went way too long. You should have done what you should have done is raised it 2 to 3% every year so that it wouldn't be sticker shock. And now we've got into a situation where it's complete sticker shock. How much is the city broke? I don't know. I would hate to gather. I can at least say, if I take a look at everybody and all the cuts we've made, it would behoove me. I think we're 5 to 6 million, maybe more. But last year you took over $5.5 million out of the Light and Water Fund to put in the general fund. Now that is a practice, unfortunately. Every city does it. Walhalla's done it. They've taken the water money from the water department and put it in the general fund. Is it right? I don't think so. I think the Light and Water should be a separate entity, and you should not have the greed and temptation to rob Peter to pay Paul. Because once you keep robbing Peter, it's kind of hard to catch Paul back up when Paul needs money, or vice versa. I don't think Seneca Light and Water should be the separate entity, and it should have everything. Matter of fact, if you want to know the truth, probably Seneca Light and Water needs to have its own board. I'm just saying. But that money should never go into a general fund. The general fund should be balanced every year with the money, your income, your revenues, and the Seneca Light and Water account should never be touched to go into the general fund. It should sit over there and it be designated for power, water, and sewer. And again, with the money coming, the increases and stuff, we got a problem. So right now I'm going to go back over here. I'm a little tired. I'm going to check back in on Mom. She's doing much better, but I wanted to jump on here and let you know what was going on. And I appreciate everybody who has supported the show. The only reason why this show came about is because I was called a pot stirrer because I spoke out for something that I strongly believe in, but yet I'm a